Good day, Mdm Syamira. This is Group 10, and we are going to present about modernism. Modernism is both a philosophical movement and an art movement that, along with cultural trends and changes, arose from wide-scale and far-reaching transformations in the West during the late 19th and early 20th centuries. So literary modernism or modernist culture has its origins in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, mainly in Europe and North America, and it is categorized by a self-conscious break with traditional ways of writing in both poetry and prose fiction. Modernism was essentially based on a utopian vision of human life and society and a belief in progress or moving forward. Modernist ideals were far-reaching, pervading art, architecture, literature, religious faith, philosophy, social organization, activities of daily life, and even the sciences. Now I'm going to pass the next part of the introduction to Amira.
Okay, to continue to what Jai just introduced about our topic. At the beginning of 20th century, modernism saw a close connection between fashion and art, which is starting from the heavily conceptual slope of Art Nouveau period of the pattern and the stature of clothes from the Cubist period. Modernism is in art and fashion had a very close relationship. So the fun fact is modernism is an artistic and cultural movement which has its roots in mid-19th century France and is marked by new forms of arts, architecture, music, and literature emerging in the decades before 1914 as artists rejected that 19th century artistic tradition such as Romanticism. So other fact is high modernism, known as golden age of modernism. So that is from us and my and Jai, and we continue to Shan. Thank you.
Hi, madam. Okay, I'm going to present about the three main characteristics of modernism, which is the first is literature exhibits perspective, which is it can be perception and assumptions of different people that can be related in the modernism, which is can be said as relativism. So it is meaning that comes from the individual perspective and is thus a kind of personality. A single story might be told from a perspective of several different people with the assumption that the truth is somewhere in the middle, which can be said a kind of relative. So the second is a stream of consciousness, which is provides textual equivalent to the stream of a fictional characteristic consciousness. It is aimed to provide a greatness of impression that the reader is eavesdropping on the flow of consciousness experience in the character mind. It basically comes from a variety of stylistic forms. Narrator streams of consciousness often composed of different sentence types, including a kind of psycho-narration and free indirect style. The third is interview monologue. It is a kind of modernism which can be related with the writing. So it is called as cold stream of consciousness, presents characters thought streams exclusive in the form of silence inner speech. It is a kind of a stream of verbal thoughts. So it represents the character speaking silently to themselves and quotes their inner speech, often without any speech marks. It also presented in the very first person and present tense and employs dictics words. So that's it from me. I will pass to Nagini.
Hi, madam. I'm Nagini here. I'm going to present about the modernism in literature, which in modernism in literature, there is 4: individualism, experimentation, symbolism, and formalism. we as a group members decided to focus on two modernism in literature, which is individualism and symbolism. In individualism, we have inserted 5 main points that related to modernism, which is in modernist literature, the individual is more interesting than society. The second point is individualism and modernism together inspire and continue to inspire the writing of the past, present, and the future. The third point of individualism is the individualistic characteristic in self-reliance. The Great Gatsby and True Green indicate their link to modernism. The fourth point, individualism played a huge part in the writings of modernism and the modernist view of the individual. The last point for the individualism is writer presented the world of or society as a challenge on the integrity of the characters. In symbolism, we have inserted 3 main points that related to modernism, which is the first, the modernist writers infuse objects, people, places, and events with significant meanings. As we all know, symbolism was not a new concept in literature, but the modernists particularly use symbolism was an innovation. The last point in this symbolism is they left much more to the reader's imagination than earlier writers, leading to open-ended narratives with multiple interpretations. That's it for our modernism in literature, and I would like to pass this to Hamizan.
Okay, madam, good evening. So my name is Hamizan. So I will present on the famous figures in modernism era. So you can see for our topic, so I choose my friend and his son choose P. Ramlee as our famous figures in modernism era. So Tan Sri P. Ramlee was a Malaysian film actor, director, and songwriter. He is often contribute in Malay entertainment in both Malaysia and Singapore. So he was born in 22nd of March 1929 in the first day of Raya and born in Pulau Pinang, Malaysia. So his full name is Tan Sri Tengku Zakaria bin Tengku Nyak Putih. So his first film was Nasib in 1949. So this is about the biography of P. Ramlee. Why I choose P. Ramlee? Because he is one of the most prominent figure in Malaysia in introduced culture of Malay to the outside world. So as you can see, he was active when in 1945. And 1945 is just at the end of the World War II. So many of the famous figures in the World War II likes to write about the effect, the cause, what happened after the World War, the nitty-gritty things about the World War. But instead, the P. Ramlee goes more further towards in introducing the culture, introducing the culture of Malaysian people to the outside world, and give a little bit more about the ethnicity and the cultural background. So one of his most famous film, Bujang Lapuk, is a comedy film in 1957, which are still popular among modern Malay film watchers. Until now, we still watch his films because he had so much values in it. So that's it from me. I would like to pass my presentation to Ihsan to talk more about P. Ramlee movies, songs, and literature.
Okay, hello Nizam. Can you help me share the screen? All right, scroll down to my part. Okay, good day to our evaluator and our lecturer, Mdm Syamira. So according to our late famous figure, which is Allahyarham Tan Sri P. Ramlee, we can take some of the example from the movie. We can see how he developed the disillusionment thinking, where he wanted to be free from idea when creating the storyline. So according to the story, Alibaba Bujang Lapuk, as we can see from the poster of the movie, he is the pirate in the movie. We can see the idea of modernism where at the end of the story, all the marauder involved with the banditry job are all eliminated. If you remember the part when all the bad people are singing Ya Alibaba and whatnot. At the end of the story, it shows that how wrong an idea could get, which means taking other people's stuff or stealing does not bring a humanity to a better place. It doesn't help you. So as what the people back then are doing, which is some of them are stealing because they believe that if you steal, then you'll be happy. So he's trying to define the ideology which are able to shape and controlling people. So he is actually controlling the people's mind through his artwork, through his direction of the movie. Another thing is by emphasizing honesty in language, modernist producers such as Piramli depicted how people truly thought during that day, how they thought about sexuality and how they experienced devastation. We can see through all the movie, such as the term free from idea is that whenever, for example, if your things get stolen, doesn't mean that you are going to be sad. So according to Piramli, this is how they experience the devastation. So particularly shell shock and severe mental injuries that resulted from the bad experience they have gone through. So I guess that's all. Thank you so much.
So, Madam, that's all from us. Thank you to my friends and to also to you, Madam Syamira, for guiding us in doing this project. Thank you.